Hi friends, my name's host Eric and I'm the host talking with fans people. Today I've got a great video for you. It's called Your Type Can't Do Meow About Meow, so they must meow. And that's why your 6 slot value is countervalued. Okay, let's start at the top. Let's move through this quickly. INFJ. They can't remember 8 slot SI, how to do stuff, 7 slot at TE, so they must be clear on what they want. In conjunction with their tool function, they can get it via dealing with other people. ISFJ, they cannot intuit how to do stuff, so they too must be clear on what they want. INTJ cannot remember to consider social stuff, so whatever they're saying must be logically defensible. But again, that 6 slot function, being logically defensible, TI in the 6 slot for INTJ, is countervalued. And the reason, of course, it's countervalued is because when we're talking about the necessary deficits that are implied by your dominant 2 functions, and how those necessary deficits force you into your second choice tool function, basically. So, or your supporting cast tool function in the 6th slot. Obviously, if you look at, like, say, INTJ, they can't remember to consider social stuff, so they must be logically defensible when simply showing that this is effective isn't enough, right? When their tool function is not enough. ISTJ, they can't intuit about those same social realities, so they too must be logically defensible. ESFPs, they cannot ideate logically, so they have to attend to how they present it in the tone. If your ideas aren't logical, but you want people to listen to you and take you seriously, then you need to be very careful about how you present it and how you approach those people. But you don't really want to, because your tool function is what you authentically want, not concerning yourself so much about what other people, how they're impacted and their perceptions and stuff. That's why it's countervalued. Okay, ENTP, take action. They cannot take action because it matters to them. So, in order to justify their action, they must show that it's useful to others. That's why TE is countervalued. ENFP, they can't take action because it's logical, so they must attend to presentation and tone, like ESFPs. ESTPs, they cannot ideate about what's important, so they must show that what they've ideated about is useful in some fashion, since it's not important. INFPs, since they can't show that it's important, INFPs can't be logical as a way to catalyze action. So they have to collapse the course into as small a course of action as possible and as clear and singular a course of action as possible, so the least amount of action has to be catalyzed. INTPs, they can't use emotion to catalyze action, so they must collapse the course for the same reason articulated. ISTPs, they cannot use emotion to ideate, so when they need to come up with ideas, they have to refer to what they've already learned. Same with ISFPs, they can't use logic to ideate, so when they need to ideate, they have to refer to what they've already learned. ESFJs, they cannot figure out the single best way, so they have to try different things. So what you're seeing there with ESFJ is they can't TE 8th slot about NI stuff, 7th slot, so they must just do shit, SE 6th slot. ENFJ, they can't figure out what experience matters in a given situation. In other words, they don't know from experience what factors to consider. They don't remember really, and they don't think particular experience is necessarily very useful, so they have to ideate out all the possibilities. If you don't remember what your choices were, you have to come up with them again. ENTJs, they can't network about personal experience, so they have to come up with intuitive possibilities, extroverted intuition stuff. Since they're not telling their own stories in order to network, they aren't sharing personal experiences, they've got to be intuitively interesting. ESTJs can't network about ideas, so they have to take some kind of action. So their way of networking is attending the barbecue, making sure this goes off on time and that goes off on time and shit like that. And so remember, this yellow column is the 8th slot function, the green column is the 7th, and the pink column is the 6th. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to eat plenty of cheese.